Today's documentary: The Bennington Triangle, The Vanishing of Paula Welden. The forest swallowed her whole. One moment, 18-year-old Paula Welden was there, a vibrant splash of red against the virgin snow of the long trail. The next, nothing. Just the whispering pines, the creeping shadow of Glastenbury Mountain, and a silence so profound it felt like a physical presence. Paula Welden's story begins not in terror, but in the crisp, hopeful air of a Vermont Saturday. Bennington College, a haven for bright young minds, nestled in the rolling hills. Paula, a sophomore from Stamford, Connecticut, was described by friends as spirited, artistic, and responsible. That morning, she told her roommate, Elizabeth Johnson, she needed a break from studying. She was going for a hike, a simple walk. She pulled on a distinctive red parka, jeans, and sneakers. She carried no backpack, no provisions for a long trek. She left her dormitory at approximately 2:30 p.m. The sun was already low, casting long, skeletal shadows. She planned to hitchhike the short distance to the Long Trail, a famous hiking path that snaked over Glastenbury Mountain. What could go wrong? Her first and only confirmed ride came from a local man, Lewis Knapp. He later told police he dropped the cheerful student at the trailhead near the Woodford Hollow area. He watched her stride confidently onto the path, a flash of red against the gray winter landscape. She thanked him and disappeared into the trees. That image, frozen in time, would haunt investigators for decades. A second sighting came minutes later. An elderly couple, Mr. and Mrs. Ernest Mason, were driving near the trail when they saw a young woman in a red coat, seemingly confused near a junction. They stopped. Paula asked for directions to the Long Trail. The Masons pointed her up a logging road. She smiled, waved, and walked away. They were the last people to ever see Paula Welden alive. Now, step onto that trail with her. Feel the crunch of frost underfoot. Hear the distant caw of a crow. The air is sharp, clean, but slowly, the atmosphere shifts. The dense stands of spruce and fir close in. The daylight, already weakened by the late hour, begins to fail. The trail markers become sparse. Paula picks up her pace. Her breath fogs in the chilling air. She is alone, truly alone. And in the Bennington Triangle, alone is a death sentence. Did she hear a twig snap off the path? See a movement in the peripheral gloom? The historical record goes silent. But we know this. Somewhere on that mountainside, between the Mason's car and the summit, Paula Welden encountered the unknown. Her heart would have hammered against her ribs. Fear, cold and metallic, would have tasted in her mouth. The friendly forest transformed into a labyrinth of impending doom. Then, the critical moment. A misstep? An encounter? The red parka vanishes into the gathering twilight. The mountain absorbs her without a trace. Back at Bennington College, alarm bells didn't ring immediately. It was only when Paula failed to return for dinner, then for curfew, that her roommate raised the alarm. By Sunday morning, December 2nd, a slow-burning panic ignited. College officials contacted the local authorities. Sheriff Robert M. Sheriffs, a pragmatic Vermont lawman, initially treated it as a simple missing hiker case. He organized a small search party. They found nothing. No footprints in the light snow. No shred of fabric caught on a branch. No calls for help. Just an eerie, empty stillness that seemed to mock their efforts. By Monday, the scale exploded. The Vermont State Police were called in. National Guard units from nearby bases were mobilized. Over 1,000 volunteers, students, soldiers, farmers, and seasoned woodsmen converged on Glastenbury Mountain. It became one of the largest land searches in Vermont history. They formed human chains. They scoured every ravine, every thicket. Bloodhounds were brought in. The dogs picked up a scent near the trailhead, then lost it abruptly, as if Paula had simply been plucked from the earth. The search commander, Captain Robert J. Stafford, later confessed to reporters, it was as if she evaporated. The days turned into a week. The week into two. The weather turned savage. Temperatures plunged below zero. Blizzards blanketed the mountain in feet of snow. Searchers, battling frostbite and exhaustion, found nothing. Not a button. Not a hairpin. The case warped from a rescue mission into a grim recovery operation, and then into a profound mystery. The media descended, dubbing it the puzzle of the vanished co-ed. Theories, wild and dark, began to circulate. Had Paula staged her own disappearance? Sheriffs investigated this thoroughly. Her life was happy, her finances stable. She had withdrawn only $5 from her account. Had she been the victim of foul play? The hitchhiking angle was scrutinized. Lewis Knapp and the Masons were cleared. But what of the other drivers on that lonely road? The specter of a serial killer, a phantom of the passes, was whispered for the first time. Yet, there was no evidence. No ransom note. No witnesses to a struggle. The mountain offered no secrets. Then, the first chilling connection was made. Glastenbury Mountain was not just any wilderness. It was the heart of what would soon be called the Bennington Triangle. A cursed zone. Native American tribes, the Abenaki, had long shunned the area. They spoke of the bad place, a mountain that swallowed people. They told of a cursed stone that glowed with evil energy, of a wind that carried voices, of an ancient, malevolent spirit that guarded the land. To the pragmatic 1940s search teams, this was superstition. But as the search for Paula was officially scaled down in late December, the whispers grew louder. The land itself was hungry, and it wasn't finished. The disappearance of Paula Welden was not an isolated event. It was a horrific prelude. In 1946, just a few miles away, an experienced hunter named James Tedford vanished from a well-traveled path. In 1949, another student vanished from a bus traveling through the area. Witnesses saw him asleep in his seat. When the bus reached its destination, he was gone, his belongings left behind. The pattern was undeniable, sudden, complete, and utterly baffling vanishings. The Bennington Triangle had a roster of the lost. Paula was the first modern entry. Back in the aftermath of 1945, Paula's family was shattered. Her father, William Welden, poured his own money into private searches. He walked the mountain himself, calling her name until his voice was raw. Sheriff Robert Sheriffs, the man who led the search, carried the case with him until his death. He told his family he was haunted by the completeness of the vanishing. As decades passed, the theories crystallized. The rationalists pointed to a potential serial killer. The supernatural camp grew stronger. Researchers documented the area's strange history, magnetic anomalies, UFO sightings, and those persistent Native American legends. Today, the long trail still winds over Glastenbury Mountain. Hikers walk the same path Paula Welden took. Many report a sudden, overwhelming sense of being watched. The disappearance of Paula Welden was more than a cold case. It was the ignition of a modern legend. It proved that in the heart of civilized New England, there existed a pocket of wilderness where the rules of reality dissolved. The files on Paula Welden are still officially open, but dusty. The red parka is a ghost in the archival photos. Paula's smile, frozen in college yearbooks, is a haunting reminder. The mountain keeps its secrets, and on quiet, snow-laden nights, when the wind howls through the fir trees on Glastonbury, it doesn't sound like wind at all. It sounds like a whisper, a young woman's whisper, lost forever, calling from a place where no one can follow. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, please subscribe to our channel. We bring you fascinating documentaries on history, science, civilizations, mysteries, and the untold stories that shaped our world. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss a new release. See you in the next one.